Hello, my name is Joey Morgan, and I did a lot on Revelation. I played the Doctor, I directed the thing, produced the thing, edited the thing, played a bunch of other roles, cameos, other things. No biggie.
My name is Jacob Licklider, and I helped adapt Doctor Who Revelation. Adapting Revelation was perhaps the most fun we've had. Timewyrm Revelation as a novel is where I really think the Virgin New Adventures begin to start coming into their own as just a series of books. Um, it's one where you have, the first really trippy story, and just some really trippy things going on. The Doctor and Ace, their relationship is tested. Um, it's a real introspection as to who the Doctor is, and sort of sets up quite a lot of the major themes that are going to be explored going forward.
Hello, my name is Brian Corrigan, and I am the voice of everyone in the universe. Well, almost everyone. My two main roles in this story are the Fourth Doctor and Chad Boyle. So this one is another interesting one as far as casting goes, because how I was cast in it was really weird after, the Fourth and Eighth Doctor, because we knew right off the bat that I was going to be playing 4 and 8, because I'm just there, signed up from the get-go, playing 4, 6, and 8 for all of these audios. But what I didn't know was I was going to end up playing a bunch of monster characters and just bits of ensemble cast, and then end up playing Chad Boyle on top of that. So I think there's a few Daleks in there. There's a Silurian I play. There's probably a few more scattered in there, but I just can't remember. I know at one point they were trying to get me to play Adric, and I finally said no because I didn't like my impression of Adric. I think Joey ended up playing him instead, but I'm not sure. But anyway. So, yeah, that was a bit weird because production for this probably started while Apocalypse was being edited. So, it's been a long time in the making.
Hello, my name is Marcus Cotton, and I played Saul in Doctor Who Timewyrm Revelation. I first joined this group when I played Dr. Kriegsleader in Timewyrm Exodus, and I ended up having so much fun that I just wanted to do more of these. So when the casting call for Revelation was announced, I just hopped on. Saul is a very different character from Dr. Kriegsleader in that he is much more heroic. Saul is sort of the best way I can think of to explain it is he is a sentient church. This church was built on a ground where a lot of psychic activity manifested throughout time, and as a church was built on this ground, we have Saul. One of the things I like about it is not a lot of explanation is given, and I like that this character is really so ambiguous. As far as inspiration for the character goes, I had an idea for the voice before I had an idea on what I wanted to do with the character. When I read the description, it was a booming yet soothing voice. I knew I wanted to do an impression of some sort, and my initial idea was to do Mark Hamill. So I tried reading the lines in a Mark Hamill-esque voice, and I found that a lot of the gentler nuances were lost, and I found a lot of the more calming, the more soothing moments were lost in this sort of powerful, yet gravelly voice. Also, I found that it absolutely shredded my vocal cords, and I couldn't do it for very long. So my next source of inspiration for booming yet soothing was Christopher Lee. And the trick I found to doing a good Christopher Lee impression is that outside of his roles on screen, if you watch interviews with him, he has this very deep, very powerful voice, but he always speaks in these very calm, very gentle, very, very soothing tones. And the hardest part of that role, of doing it like that, was keeping the accent. And so many lines I had to do retakes on because I kept dropping the voice, or it kept changing slightly. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. And I think in recent memory, Saul is one of the most challenging characters I've ever played.
Playing the Doctor in this one was rather interesting because he's a bit out of place right now. He knows he has a plan that can finally defeat the Timewyrm, but he doesn't know at what cost this plan will come. He doesn't know exactly what toll his plan is going to take on his life, because realistically he thinks that he can just sort of enact his plan and wipe the Timewyrm from existence, but he's putting a lot of people at risk throughout the story in order to get to that point.
Hello, my name is Taya Van Dyke, and I play Death in Doctor Who Revelation. It was a joy to be a part of this project, it really was, and the script for it was just fantastic. I remember reading it and thinking that I couldn't wait to be a part of this project. The guys did a really, really good job bringing the scenes to life in the ways that I imagined when I had read the book in the first place. Alright, so let me talk about my character, I guess. So, the character of Death is a really interesting character in the sense that, she isn't really a person, in a sense. I mean, she talks and interacts with the other characters and that kind of stuff, but she plays several different kinds of roles throughout the audio. At one time, she's this huge concept. At another time, she's, this fun villain. At another time, she's a part of the Doctor's mind. And she's this kind of trickster as well, which is probably my favorite part. She loves to play with her food, and she loves to see how far she can push Ace, which I think is great, because the Doctor, especially in this audio, plays the same role in Ace's life. The Doctor pushes Ace to be the best that she can be, no matter how hard that is. He's not evil for doing that, but I think Death is that little part of him that could be. That little bit of him that, goes too far. She was great to play because I was constantly trying to find this balance between the charismatic, clever, fun-to-be-evil side and the powerful, philosophical, contemplative, doctorish side. Because as scary or evil or powerful as Death seems to us, we all understand that she is coming for us, and in the end we all must learn to embrace her. Or have a slow waltz on the surface of the moon with her, whatever floats your boat.
In adapting, I tried to keep as much as I could from the original novel. The biggest challenge, I guess, would be, simply put, a lot of Paul Cornell's novel relies on visuals. It relies on something being, being able to see what's going on. So trying to transfer that into audio left a couple of things to the wayside, sadly. But for the most part, it's a straight adaptation of the book. Casting it was a lot of fun. This is the first story where we basically had to have most of our Doctors cast, because they all appear except 6. And perhaps what is the most interesting is that really it's a big cast, and I think we did a good job. There are a lot of places for cameos, and just seeing it's just amazing to me to see that we've done the entire Timewyrm saga, and well, all I have to say is now I'm looking forward to going forward, moving on first into a missing adventure, and then right on with some more new adventures.
Hello, my name is Ian Arney, and I played the role of George in Doctor Who Revelation. Very excited to participate in this great epic audio saga Joey, Brian, and Jacob have been working on for so long. When I auditioned for George, I didn't really expect him to be this sort of interesting character that has a connection to the Doctor. When I auditioned, I had only the one line asking the Doctor about a game of chess, and I didn't even know the line was directed to the Doctor. While reading the script, I was super excited to find out about how George not only knew the Seventh Doctor, but the other Doctors as well, and that he thought that they were a family of Doctors. Great stuff. The plot twist of George in the story was also pleasantly surprising. What drew me to George was that he had a Cockney accent, and it's an accent I've never really tried working with in my own audios, and thankfully it came out pretty decent. Or at least I thought so myself. But yeah, George was a very fun character to play, with the accent, uniqueness, and the twist of being a villain. And I'm sure everyone can agree that playing a villain is usually a bit more fun than playing a good guy. The story was also just fantastic from what I've read of the script. I haven't read these books, only listened to these audios, so I didn't want to spoil it while reading the script. I just read the scenes with George and then skimmed through the rest of the script to make sure I got all my lines recorded, and from what I saw while skimming, it looked pretty awesome, so I can't wait to listen to Revelation when it releases. This is an incredibly awesome story, and I'm proud to have been a part of it and be part of such a fantastic cast as well.
Hello, my name is Oliver E.M. Gustafsson, and I play the most important role in Doctor Who Revelation. Like, there's no other role more important than this. It's Sanir, with the whole 13 words.
And like I said, initially I thought I was only playing 4, but then I had the Silurian and the Daleks piled on top of it, and then I got the surprise little 8th Doctor cameo, which I was really happy about, you know, Paul McGann being my favorite Doctor and everything. But Chad Boyle didn't really come until last minute. So the casting call had already gone out, and I'm not sure if anyone auditioned for Chad Boyle, because I'm not in control of the casting whatsoever. But Joey did come to me after the casting call ended and was like, so we didn't get any suitable candidates for Chad Boyle, and you've played a little kid for us in the past, or at least a kid. Could you maybe do a younger one? And I was just like, maybe, probably not. My voice is a little deep for that. It didn't really sound right when I was playing that other character in Exodus. I can't remember his name. I think he's Cockney. Maybe he's not. But, you know, I can't do that accent very well, and it comes across as Australian. And Joey was like, well, why don't you just do that again, but for a major character? And I was like, oh no. So I sat down with him over Skype. We recorded the Chad Boyle lines. You know, I made sure to pitch shift it and everything, make sure it sounded as like a little kid as possible, and then I sent them off to Joey for editing. And yeah, that was pretty much Chad Boyle, and the 4th Doctor was just more of the same, you know. He's the Doctor. There's nothing really more to say about him. It's not that interesting. I just put on a deep voice and a British accent and tried smiling a lot. Aha! But yeah, other than that, there's nothing really left to say, I think. So yeah, that was my experience with Revelation.
We have an amazing cast for this story. Probably my favorite cast I've ever put together for any story so far. Editing this thing was an absolute joy because everyone was just so great. Everyone gave a phenomenal performance. I think everyone was so well cast and fit their role so perfectly. I won't call it anyone specific because then I have to talk about everyone. But still, everyone just gave a wonderful performance. Overall, Revelation was the culmination of our adaptations up to this point. You know, we have many more to come, but this feels like quite the milestone for us to fully have this arc fully edited. The story overall, Timewyrm as a whole, is 15 episodes long. It's got to be almost 8 hours as a whole. It's absolutely insane. But I wouldn't trade it for the world. It was a wonderful experience. I loved this story. I loved doing the Timewyrm arc as a whole. I loved working with all the amazing people that I got to know, and I cannot wait to continue with the Doctor Who novel adaptations, to continue telling this amazing story of the New Adventures and throw some other little fun projects in there as well. So yeah, thank you all to everyone who listened. Thank you to everyone who was involved with the project. And I guess until next time, this has been Joey Morgan. Goodbye.